So here we are at Otrada. Otrada's been around actually from like the early to mid 70s. And this was never Otrada. This was where we're located, actually developed in the mid 80s somewhere, early to mid 80s. What is Otrada? Otrada is an organization for the Russian Americans where we would get together and have our picnics, a gathering, again, one of those things. And there was never a set date. I think maybe in September is to have a big picnic and maybe then some. But again, traditionally in the beginning, it was always one major picnic. And that was when everybody came together. There was another location with a lake, but it was a very wishy-washy situation because it was still open to the public. And so we never, though the sketches for a huge dome was drafted that we would have some huge community center, that never came through. This came by. This used to be a camp for the handicapped people, children. And before, you would see a lot of these houses or bungalows where all these handicapped children used to be located. Again, that misfunctioned for some time. So the main thing here, again, it was available to have to organize the picnics. And this was the main zal over here, where inside there was a moose. Someone donated that moose, I don't know who. As a cultural center, the idea of Otrada was to develop something unique where it would be constantly be busy with movies, lectures, gatherings. This came later on in the late 80s to early 90s at some point. And it was a nice little auditorium, right? And I was actually quite amazed to see the inside. I doubt it's open right now. So as you can see, it says Koncertный банкетный зал, so the concert reception hall. And it is still used. I'm not, unfortunately, as you know, I don't live here. I'm only visiting. But I could give you the reminiscence of what this was here. The barbecue stands would be standing here, picnic tables, a band playing. In the beginning was Gary Nova playing the band, and always would be traditional Russian music. The smell of kielbasa, the smell of hamburgers, the smell of steak, everything was being cooked right here. Even if you were able to drink, were allowed to drink at that time, beer, there would be souvenir beer mugs where it would say Otrada with the Russian and American flag. I still have them somewhere. I don't have a collection of them, but every year they would give out these beautiful souvenirs. Otrada eventually developed their children's day camp for children, right? Younger generations. And that lasted for several years. But these bungalows were, so-called bungalows, were where the children would be camping, living inside, and they would be, again, it was just another camp in the variety of Russian camps in the diaspora. Nor, Aryur, and then this camp. But this was a children's camp. It wasn't really for the teenagers. It was for the young kids. And rightfully so, because they were trying to unite the kids. Very good point. As you can see, the chasovnya, the chapel, which was, the reason for the chapel was that we as a community, as the Russian American community, are the Orthodox children, right? So the church was always be present. It worked for the main gatherings, but also there were some weddings happening here. People want to have the atmosphere, an outdoor wedding per se. And I'm pretty sure it's what's still used today. Though you can see the cupola are in some need of restoration work. And of course, it's under the memory of Tutilida Romush. You won't be able to see anything inside. So there you have it. This was Otrada, which was a main location for people to get together, to have the picnics. At some point of time, they tried to do the gatherings to utilize it for the older teenager or the drinking age generation, where we would have parties every once in a while. Rome it was called, right? And the organizers behind that was Danya Fidorovsky and Alexander Romush, Ilya Trachta. So we're talking about, and maybe some others, because there will be people coming in and out of it. What a great idea. I attended those parties as well, and I performed in those parties. Thanks to those guys, but unfortunately something happened. Either everyone got married and didn't have the time to do anything, or someone might have voiced against it. I don't know the stories behind it. But shouldn't we always be trying to get together? I think that's very important. What's happening here today? Well, majority of these bungalows have been torn down. We see cars, and there's apartments here, kvartieri, that are rented out to make some sort of income and to cover this. Somehow these areas have to be functioning. If there's nothing functioning, well, what's going to happen to it? That's why we're trying to save whatever we can in preserving the Russian-American culture, or the Russian-American diaspora, the община, the community. This is one of the last ones of the area, in the tri-state area. So that's the history of Otrada.